Welcome. Today we're gonna be continuing the series about the Romans, and this time we'll be covering the late Classical Age and the instability period that will continue due to the massive corruption in the Roman system, which survived. But let's begin with many tyrants. As tyrants wouldn't exist, Rome would be engulfed in basically an eternal period of civil war. This with some peace periods of like 20 years and then 40 years of civil war. And those 20 years weren't fun, okay? The Romans, even though being masterminds in logistics, would struggle massively. They would have a way better focus on the east. And after Cleopatra's death, Egypt would be easily integrated due to its pro-Roman ideal monarchy. Along with that, probably a faster spread of Christianity as a Senate, as there wouldn't be any centralized thing, and probably no great fire throne, which would cause the desecration of many areas. So no Colosseum, and without a Colosseum, the Roman Empire would have collapsed relatively easier. And same for the Republic. So yes, the Republic collapsed, but how? Eventually most people get bored, and they have an advantage as we could see some revolt in Anatolia. Let's say the Jewish revolt in the 70s AD. Let's say so the Romans succeed in defeating it, but the Jews are still very hostile, and this would prompt many other countries to become disloyal to the Romans. This includes Egypt, which was slowly integrated, but many still didn't care and decided to revolt, forming a new Egyptian kingdom. The Romans would be overextended and lose this. This would be a massive problem, as we could see something like the Second Citizens' War would also happen, with Rome falling into three sides: the Senate, which only controlled Rome, and Rome was pretty unstable; Italy, which was under the citizens; Italy was under the citizens. Same with Greece. And many Jews would also decide to come back to their homeland and revolt. And Anatolia would, but there would be another faction, a militarist faction, probably under some great leader, let's say Trajan, and he's going to control the western parts. Due to that will be the area where the military will have a lot of power and have some minor support in the east, let's say Pontus. This civil war would be more of an ideological civil war instead of who controls the empire. Now, Trajan historically was a good emperor, and that will be seen in this timeline. But the war would quickly start. The citizens would have very bad ideas about the military. The Senate would barely control the military. Plus, it would be viewed as illegitimate. So the citizens are able to take over these areas, with the rest falling to tribalistic revolts. Tribal revolts, which would cause the formation of Western, which would form many minor kingdoms, such as the Thracian Confederation, the Illyrian Confederation, the Pannonia, which would actually be an pro-citizens country, Nordica, but right, and Nordic. For now, we're going to show these areas as the vassals of the Senate, of the senatorial official government. Now, Trajan's imperial government would cause the conquest of Rhaetia. The citizens would most likely conquer the revolted area in the middle area, so the government would keep on collapsing as most of the military would probably mutiny so this Roman civil war would basically be this almost destruction of the original idea of the Senate, with the senatorial oligarchs fleeing to Africa. Eventually, this would just turn out to be Trajan dominating everybody else, as he would move his very big army, and capture Rome from the citizens. The citizens would surrender under a conditional pact that he would not violate the demands of peace. The war would end with all of Iberia being centralized under Roman rule. After this, Trajan would be under the leadership of an almost destroyed empire. He would most likely reform and create the idea of princeps. Yeah, sorry for that. With this, Trajan would finally create peace upon Rome, and would begin to look to Egypt, which he conquers. And that's where I'll end the episode. This wouldn't be the formation of any Roman imperial-like areas, probably a formation of a military dictatorship. So yes, the Roman Empire is still formed, but in 1100 AD.